How you doing, Blue? How's it going? Before I get started with this video, for the people that watched the Underhaven show, where they said, why was I in the kid park talking to kids while being on video and everything and whatnot, I want to show you guys something here for a moment. Do these adults look like kids to you? Now that we're done embarrassing Underhaven and those morons that was in that channel, let's actually get into the topic of the video where, let's go this way, where I'm going to prove that Shanny and Rev don't know the law. Um, and everything that they're saying about Carrie and what they can do legally is not true. And I'm going to be able to demonstrate why that's not the case. You guys got to remember, I'm the same guy that had a 1 year long contract video against Dragnut. And as much as Dragnut likes to make fun of it, Dragnut knew he messed up on a lot of ways for me to have to go that far with him. So I'm going to explain to you guys why Shanny and Rev in detail do not have a case against Carrie and will never have a case against her, mainly because of their drug problem. All right, so let's get into this. I actually want to sit down before I actually do this. Yeah, let's sit over here. This will work. Let's go over here with the food allege. I'm a vegetarian. Okay, so Shanny and Rev is basically saying that they have a legal case against Carrie because Carrie is making videos about them. I'm dead serious. They believe that they have a case against Carrie because Carrie is making videos about them. They're also claiming that Carrie is making stuff up about them. And they're saying that the information that Carrie is giving is not correct regarding the two of them. Now, if I missed anything, guys, let me know in the live chat here. If Shanny farts, I'm giving you guys an example of Carrie not doing something wrong, okay? And this is Drader. This is for Drader and just about anybody, whether I like you or not. You need to know these things about social media. If Shanny makes a video and she farts, and then Carrie makes a video reacting to Shanny farting, Carrie is protected with fair use. She's giving, she's treating it like news. She's entertaining people about the fart that actually happened. In that sense, there's nothing wrong in what Carrie did. Okay? If Shanny gets on social media, and this is important, I'm going to come up with the silly stuff before we get to the serious stuff. If Shanny gets on here and says that she had orange juice in the morning, and then Carrie and Drader and everybody decided to make a video about how Shanny drinks orange juice, how she puts the thing to her mouth, and how they don't believe that she drinks orange juice and things like that. And she gets a large audience for talking about how Shanny talks about orange juice. There is nothing illegal about that. You don't got a court case. You can't say anything. You can't do anything about that particular situation. Now, let's talk about a real situation here. CPS, Child Protective Services, takes Shanny's kids, okay? And then Shanny is the one who comes on social media. Listen now, Shanny is the one who comes on social media and tells everyone that the kids were taken because Jason kicked one of the kids in the back of the head. And then Carrie responds, I respond, Drader responds, Celebrity Juicer responds, Shanny for Life responds. All these other people decide that they want to respond. Draven responds to what happened, and they react to it. Some of them laugh. Some of them are angry. Some of them give their opinions about it. Some of them are saying it's about time. There's nothing illegal about that. Why? Because Shanny was the one who came on social media and told everybody what happened to her child. Where you run into problems in these particular situations, when people go behind the scenes and they get that information without the other person talking about it, that is where you run into problems. Okay, and even then, you can't really sue a person right away. The term that we want to learn right now is the term of mental anguish. Now, this does affect other people here on social media and other people on YouTube and everything and whatnot. If Carrie and other people on here are making videos and are causing Shanny mental anguish, then they can at least put out a cease and desist and ask Carrie to stop doing it. And no, I'm not talking about getting on here saying, I'm going to kick, and then don't do anything. You have to actually go to a lawyer. You have to get paperwork done, and then that paperwork has to actually be sent via electronical means, email or whatever, or you have to send them some paperwork. And that cease and desist has to be put out, and you have to at least let the other person know that they have to stop talking about you or doing whatever it is that they're doing. Then you have to go no contact. You can't say nothing to them. I cannot stress this enough. You can't say nothing to them. You can't mention them in videos. You have to completely forget that they actually exist. This is vitally important. Okay? And since this is Shanny and Rev that we're talking about, and since it's impossible for them to do it, they're never going to defeat a Carrie, a Michael, or anybody like that on here in a court case because they don't know how to keep their mouth shut. They don't know how to go complete no contact. And then the other problem is that Shanny and Rev is freely giving this information to everybody. This is important. They're the dummies. Listen to me. Who made Shanny? Who put a gun to Shanny's head and said, Shanny, go on social media and tell everybody that CPS took your kids? Who made her do it? Somebody got a video here that can show me that? Or I'll do you one better. When the incident when Rev got locked up and he kicked Zachary in the head. Who made her get on here and talk about it? Who made her get on here and talk about it? She freely gave that information, and when she freely did it, what she actually did was that she invited other people into her life to get on social media and talk about it. She has no case against Carrie. Carrie is not causing her mental anguish because she was the one who came on here and told everybody what was going on in her life, encouraged people to talk about it, and then want to turn around and... No, it doesn't work that way, Shanny. Okay, just because you decide to get drunk one day and smoke weed and get high and be under the influence of God knows how many different drugs, and you want to get on here and you want to talk about how, oh, you know, we got a case against you, we own this and we own that, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean you have anything. And I'm going to tell you something else, Jason. You're playing with fire when you get on social media and you tell YouTube Incorporated, if that's what their mother company is called or whatever, but you're telling YouTube Incorporated that you own the intellectual rights of this particular video. Then you flag Carrie's video. I'm gonna tell you why Carrie's smart in this situation. I'm gonna tell you why she's almost a genius in this situation in a minute. Okay? They come off of Instagram, they flag two of her videos, and then they claim the copyright on those videos. They claim the copyright on those. Carrie says, okay, I'm going to take this to court. Let's take this to court. I'm going to challenge this. I don't believe it. A lot of whatever, right? Now the ball's in Shanny and Rev's court because if they really do own the property, now they got to go to a courtroom. If they don't go to a courtroom, depending on the rules of Instagram, they could lose their Instagram channel for doing that, for lying about, well, actually, if they had a YouTube channel, if they were both on YouTube, then they would be... If they use the YouTube channel to flag them, they can lose that YouTube channel for false flagging her channel. But let me tell you why it's genius for Carrie. Guess who's the victim in all of this? It's not Shanny and it's not Rev. The victim now is Carrie. Carrie's channel was unfairly flagged for a false copyright claim. And now Carrie's in a position, if she wanted to, if they had something to take, to legally do something with them. It is. Watching these guys over here play soccer. But people need to understand that the real victim in all of this is Carrie. Now, I do want to talk about Teddy Bear 55 and some of these other people on here who are actually giving Shanny this horrible advice about how to go about defending herself. Because if she was actually talking to a lawyer, if she was actually talking to some legal representation, the first thing they would have told her is to stop talking about Carrie. Get a cease and desist out. Tell her to stop doing what she's doing, and then you take it from there. She didn't do any of that. In order to win any money, in order to get any legal justice on here, you have to look like a victim on here. And Shanny is doing a horrible job at looking like a victim on this. She's looking like a false flagger. She's looking like somebody who does not understand the DMCA rules. She's looking like somebody, and for the people that don't know what DMCA is, that's the digital millennial. What is it? The digital millennial Copyright Act, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it is. It's the Digital Millennial Copyright Act, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong about that, somebody will correct me. But you can't just go around just flagging people's channels and saying you own things when you don't. There are a couple of videos, for example, when people were coming after me that I actually do own. I actually own the music. I own a couple other things, but I didn't bother doing it because I knew that there were better ways of dealing with those people at the time when they did it. But Carrie has nothing to worry about regarding Shanny and Rev, and I think that Teddy Bear is just trying to stir the pot and get Shanny and Rev to do the dirty work that he wish he can do himself. And it ain't just him; it's the other people in the background that's helping her, and she's looking like a fool doing it. Where Shanny gets herself in a lot of trouble with what they just pulled with Carrie is this. Actually, before I say that, let me say this. You notice that Shanny and Rev only got angry at Carrie talking about them when they realized that Carrie had 500 plus people watching her, as opposed to the 4 or the 5 that was watching them. She was hot. She was angry about that. So their big solution for the thing is to take down her channel, and then maybe you can get this traffic to go over to Instagram. Shanny doesn't even understand that most people don't even watch the Instagram because she's constantly blocking people all the time. Like Shanny, for her to be 40, she's not the smartest cookie in the world. She really isn't. She don't know how to do this social media thing. So Carrie had 500 people watching her, and that means that there are over 500 potential people who are angry now that Shanny false flagged Carrie. For all Shanny knows right now is that them same 500 people are creating Instagram accounts and flagging her right now. She doesn't even know the kind of anger that other people are having. Now, what about what they're saying regarding cyberbullying? First of all, every state is different. You have to be state specific. Give me a second here, guys. Is it over here? Let me see. Where? Oh, okay, I got it. Let me get this for you. There you go, senor.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. All right, guys, give me 1 second here. Hold on. Now they kicked it over there. That's crazy. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Did I cover the 500 subs being angry coming after her? The cyberbullying is state specific, and there are situations where things are going to be slightly different. I better be careful for that ball hit me in the face. Anyway, so you have to look at what the laws are in Carrie's particular state, which I don't know what state she lives in. You have to look in the specific laws of what it says in Pennsylvania about what you can and what you can't do. Like, for example, I recently heard Shanny say something along the lines that if somebody uses electronical or somebody does this, is considered cyberbullying. Shanny is not as cut and dry as you might think it is. You see, you still got to go no contact. All Carrie's got to do is let you sit there and make all of the complaints that you're making, and then when it's her time, when it's her time to talk, she can say, number one, she's protected by fair use, and fair use is kind of funny because some places will tell you that you got to speak every 10 seconds, every 12 seconds, every 8 seconds. It depends on the situation or whatever, right? But I think that's a bat. That's interesting. But anyway, Carrie can claim fair use, and Carrie can say that you was the one that gave the information. When Shanny and Rev had the fight, the first thing the judge is going to say, well, why did you record the fight? If you know people on social media are going to respond to it. People say negative things about the president of the United States every day, and he's not going after them. People say negative things about just about anybody that's been on social media, love, hate it, whatever. And you can't just go out there and just sue somebody because they said something negative about you. No, I believe what Carrie can do is Carrie can show everybody the video where Shanny and Rev are angry that Carrie had 500 live viewers and they had 4 people watching them. Any other time, Shanny and Rev wouldn't care if Carrie was covering them because they want the traffic to go to Instagram. They only cared because Carrie had over 500 people watching her. You have no case. And this is the term that I want people to get used to when you're dealing with somebody, and that's called tit for tat. Tit for tat. Okay? If Carrie makes a video about Shanny, and then Shanny makes a response video about it, and she's claiming mental anguish based on what Carrie said, Shanny's going to lose. Let me say this again. If Carrie makes a YouTube video criticizing Shanny about something that she said in the previous video, or revisiting a video and talking about something that Shanny did in the video, and then Shanny responds, that's tit for tat. Especially, and let me give you an example of something that actually happened. Okay? In the very same video where Shanny claimed that she can do this legally and she can do this legally, didn't she get on there and say that Michael and me was in a relationship? That disqualifies, that immediately disqualifies you from having any kind of case whatsoever. Because then that's tit for tat. She attacked you, you attacked her. Shanny and Rev are now threatening or wanting to fight Carrie and wanting to fight Michael. That's tit for tat. The only way that works is if Carrie's the one doing all of that stuff and Shanny and Rev are being quiet. That's when you got a problem. And they're being quiet for a period of time. Doing it for one video ain't enough. Doing it for 2 videos ain't enough. I'm talking about for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, to up to a year. You got to let this stuff happen without you saying nothing. Then you got to be able to prove to a judge mental anguish, and that's not easy to do. So I'm telling you, Shanny and Rev don't got a pot to pee in. They probably got a pot to poop in, but they don't got a pot to pee in whatsoever. They don't know what they're talking about regarding the law. I think what's happening is that Teddy Bear is trying to be me, and somebody didn't do their homework again and look stupid even more now. You know what I mean? And Teddy Bear, if you're going to try to give people legal advice, how about you get yourself out of legal trouble before you try to help Shanny and Rev with their legal problems or whatever. Kim on Earth says, so it would be the laws in Carrie's state that apply, not Shanny's and Jason's state. It depends where the offense is taking place. If Carrie is breaking the laws in her state, then you have to deal with the laws concerning there. If the laws that Carrie is breaking affects the person living in another state, then Shanny and Rev can take action against them. So it's not as easy as some people might try to make it sound like it is. No problem. It's not as cut and dry as some people like to make it is. Because when I was going to deal with people on here, I had to not only look at the laws that was going on in my own state, I had to look at the laws that was going on in the other person's state. And I had to accept some things about fair use that I didn't want to accept. And I had to deal with just shutting up and taking it, so to speak. Because I had to take a lot before people started taking me seriously. But Shanny and Rev have a drug problem. Shanny and Rev are alcoholics. Shanny and Rev have no self-control whatsoever. And they couldn't shut up if you paid them. If Teddy Bear offered them $1,000 to not talk about another YouTuber, they wouldn't do it. It's not possible. Shanny's going to say that this is a man trying to control her, blah, 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 and start talking about people. Jazzy G says, but remember, according to Jason, Shanny is a protect. Okay, so all this talk about Shanny and Rev saying that they have mental illnesses. And I think most of you know this. I'm probably wasting my breath saying this, but without paperwork, you can't claim mental illness. Just because Shanny goes on Google and says she has some of the symptoms doesn't make her to have those things. If she doesn't have paperwork that says that she has borderline personality disorder, if she doesn't have paperwork that says that she suffers from a mental illness, then Shanny doesn't have a mental illness. We all got the same 24 hours. She can go to a doctor and she can get diagnosed with what they may think that she has. There are people out there pretending they have these things every single day. Without no paperwork, they don't got a pot to pee in. Just because Shanny says she has a mental illness doesn't mean she has a mental illness. Shanny has to prove that. Jason has to prove that. So does the uncle know about the false diagnosis? I already told him about Shanny. It's up to them with what they want to do. I already warned him about Shanny. I warned him when they lived in the house, and I warned him via another person living where they are right now. But Shanny doesn't have a mental illness as far as I'm concerned. Not until she shows paperwork. Because when you start dealing with the law and you start getting legal with people, you got to have paperwork. Then the issue is going to become, if you knew you had this kind of illness, what are you doing on social media? McFly! You know what I mean? Because if she was really seeing a therapist and YouTube is causing you so much mental anguish and you have a mental illness, the first thing they're going to tell you to do is to get off of social media. Shanny ain't got no mental disorder. Shanny has social media addiction. That's what she has. Yeah, Carrie ain't got nothing to worry about. If I was Carrie, I'd be laughing all the way to the bank, really. Because what Carrie should do is let Shanny... You know what I would do if I was Carrie right now? With them 2 false flags? What I would do is send them a cease and desist. And don't even mention them no more. Because Teddy Bear and all of them are going to continue to encourage them to talk about her. Carrie can go after them. The only problem with that is Carrie would be spending more money to get the cease and desist than what she would get out of going after them, because they ain't got nothing. If they would have pulled this garbage when they was in Boulder, then heck yeah, I would have told them to do it. Well, here's the thing with the unaliving part. She's blaming both Rev and the audience, Carrie or whatever, for the unaliving part or whatever. And that's another problem that she's going to have, because she only tried to unalive herself when Jason was done with her. Where does Carrie fit into any of this? The videos are out there for people to see. This is why I stopped listening to Shanny and Rev regarding the police and the law with this and the law with that. The only thing they ever said to me that made me think about my actions before I did it was when I showed up without calling them first and I knocked on the door. When they told me not to come back there, I had to listen to that. Okay? Now, if I want to go over there, they have to give me permission. I have to get something in writing, and I have to make sure that I got a video with them saying it. Like, I don't play games with those two when it comes to the law. I want to make sure I got them by the balls if I'm gonna deal with them that way. Just like if somebody claims that you don't got their personal information, and then they give you permission to put that information out there. Once they give you that permission, they can't sue you. They can't do anything. I be knowing what I be doing, man, when I have these conversations with these people. Because I understand the consequences for making a mistake like that. But she tried to unalive herself. She pretended to try to unalive herself because of Jason. And by the way, that's going to make me segue into the next part of this video. Shanny, I really hope you're watching this, Shanny. Because I tell you, if there is a person on this planet that deserves this, it is you. It is you. After all the advice I gave you, after all the... And you too, Rev. You two deserve this. Shanny, tell me something. How does it feel to know that you're with an unfaithful man and now you can't leave? How does that feel? I want you to think about this a minute, Shanny. Jason can literally go out there and sleep with another woman with HIV and then sleep with you, and you can't go nowhere. You can't do nothing about it. You have to deal with it. I want you to think about it. Jason can talk to as many different women as he want. What are you going to do about it, Shanny? Nothing, because you ain't got nowhere to go. This is what happens when you don't got money and you don't got a job. And you don't think about something past tomorrow. This is what cracks me up about it. I'm listening to these videos. Oh, we got to go to marriage counseling. In order to go to marriage counseling, you got to show them that marriage certificate. And let's say you claim your common law. Well, unfortunately for you, in the state that you live in, there is no common law marriage in the state that you live in. You are not married. You're only doing this garbage because you want to get sympathy to get money from people. I ain't dumb. I see right through this garbage. I see right through it. I mean, imagine being a woman and being with Rev or being with somebody and they cheat on you over and 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 over, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. There ain't nothing you can do about it. That's Shanny's punishment for sitting there and laying on the couch all day, asking her boo-boo to wipe her butt all day. It's all manipulation. They are talking about marriage counseling, but thankfully Jason is starting to see through it. We always say that, and then he takes it right back. But I agree. It's going to take a few times for him to finally get and understand that Shanny is just using him and playing him, making him look like a buffoon on social media. He'll understand it one day. So, how you doing? That's a golden retriever? Yeah. Nice dog. Nice dog. Nice dog. So, Shanny, like I said, you sit there and you want to brag and you want to talk about how happy your life is and you talk all this smack on here and whatnot. Hey, at least I'm not involved in something where I'm forced to stay with somebody who continually cheats on me over and over and over again, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. I mean, if Jason wants to, like really, if he really wants to, he can bring a woman home, make you sleep on the floor. I mean, that's his uncle's house. You ain't got no say in nothing. And he can do something with her. The next time he goes to the store, he can go see his girlfriend. The next time he go gets a pizza, he can talk to his girlfriend. Because you can't do nothing yourself, and Jason has to be the one to go do it. Jason can have 20 girls, and you wouldn't even know about it, Shanny. Now, some people are going to be like, oh, G-Man, that's going to cause Shanny mental anguish. Don't say that. You're going to make her... I ain't going to make her do nothing. It's just the reality of the situation. It's just the reality of the situation. This is what happens when you sit around here and you pretend to be injured and you pretend to be handicapped when there's nothing wrong with you. It's whatever Jason says goes. And when he finally really begins to understand that, Shanny's going to realize how really screwed she is. He don't love her, and she don't love him. I don't know if you guys saw my last upload where I talked about... I think it was like about 2 minutes long. You can go take a look at it on this channel. And it talked about how narcissists don't have any self-love. Go take a look at that one. Go look at how Shanny loves her man when she beats him up and punch him in the nose and punch him in the eye. She got arrested in Boulder, Colorado for hitting him with a whip. That ain't love. Taking a man who struggled with alcohol and getting him off alcohol and getting him addicted to weed is not loving him. Starving the man that you're with and not giving him enough food so he don't get scurvy is not showing that you love him. Trying to control every little tiny thing he does is not showing that you love him. And I'm gonna tell you something, Jason, too. You ain't showing that you love Shanny by sitting on your behind and not trying to bring some money into that house. Goes both ways. You two are a joke when it comes to a relationship. An absolute joke. You two wouldn't know love if love smacked you in the face. That's why I continually say neither one of you know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, because if you knew him, you two would know how to love each other. But you don't know anything about the topic. You don't know nothing about it. Well, what about when I wipe her butt, G-Man? What about when I go to the store? You're only doing that because you're afraid, because in your crackhead mind somewhere, in the twilight zone, in the outer limits of your mind, in the mysticism of your brain, you came to the conclusion that Shanny's going to leave you When in reality, she ain't got nowhere to go. She can threaten or leave you all she want. Where's she gonna go? Hey, Jason, let's do a little experiment here. If she says she's gonna leave you again, tell her to go. Pack her bag for her, and then ask her where she's gonna go. Because remember, she can't walk. She can't walk. She can't go anywhere. She's stuck. You know what I should do? I should be savage. I should bring 3 girls to Peckville and say, hey, Rev, these 3 girls want you right in front of Shanny. But anyway, let me stop doing that. That's not funny. And then she's challenging Carrie to a fight. I've been watching Carrie now for about a year now, I think. Prior to Shanny challenging Carrie to a fight, I've never heard Carrie say anything about wanting to fight Shanny. Not one time. Shanny was the one who brought that up. Shanny was the one that brought that up. This is why with the legal stuff, if I was Carrie, I would take those videos and use them for Kleenex. Use it for toilet paper, because Shanny don't know what she's talking about, and neither do Jason. They convince themselves of utter baloney. When I was trying to tell them how to deal with people who are harassing them on the internet, they clearly wasn't listening. So there's a lot to it. It ain't just as simple as somebody getting on YouTube and saying something. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. If it was that easy, several YouTubers would have sued several YouTubers by now. I would have been sued. Drag would have been. Everybody would have. If it was that easy, everybody would be sued on here. Because everybody on here is talking about each other. This is utter nonsense. There's more to it than that. Yep, he actually has all the power right now. But she thinks she does because he has a bad boy. Okay, because he was a bad boy. But all he has to do is call the uncle. Exactly. And when Shanny really begins to understand that, she's going to change her stance on a great many things. When she really begins to understand that all Jason got to do is say, get out. All of this arrogance, all of this cockiness, all of this stuff that she's showing on the internet will disappear like that. To the fire? Is that necessary? Oh my God, and they're coming. No, thank God. Phew, I thought they was coming over here. I probably should have turned the other way. I think I missed my turn. So where am I at? About 2 blocks away, right? Yeah. What's up again, Carrie? Stop wasting your time listening to Shanny and her legal nonsense. She don't know what she's talking about. There ain't no mental anguish going on. Not from you. What you need to do is take Jason to court, because he's the one causing it.
Have you really bought it?
Yeah, this is it.
I bought it because I needed a dehydrator.
And I'm going to end this video with a warning to the uncle. I think I might have said this in a previous video, but I'm going to let the uncle know something right now. Uncle of Jason, if you're watching this video, do not leave yourself alone in the house with Shanny. Do not eat anything that Shanny gives you. Do not drink anything that Shanny gives you. This was the advice that was given to me when they were living there in the last days. Do not eat anything that Shanny gives you. Do not drink anything that Shanny gives you. Do not be alone with her without a camera being on you where you can prove you did not do certain things. Because this woman is getting desperate, is going to claim and do whatever she got to claim and do to keep that roof over her head for as long as possible. And for the people on here who support her and don't think that she'll go that low, you don't know Shanny. Jason, you don't really got to do all of that, sir. You ain't got to do that with Jason. Jason will say certain things, but when push comes to shove, Jason's a coward and he ain't gonna do nothing. Jason is a coward and he ain't gonna do nothing when push comes to shove. he talks a real big game until it's time to start executing what it is that he says he's got to do. So just keep that in mind. Do not, under any circumstances, trust Shanny. Shanny is receiving some really horrible advice from some people via email, and she don't know what she's talking about. And if she ends up in a courtroom, she might find herself behind bars for all of the illegal stuff that she's doing on the internet. Just saying. And it's a lot. It ain't a little bit. It's a lot. Another reason why Shanny can't claim mental anguish on here is because a lot of the stuff that Shanny does on here is predetermined and planned by Shanny with the hopes that people are going to feel sorry for her and donate to her. And this can be proven by looking at patterns of how she makes her videos and when she does certain things. Like I said, if I was in Carrie's position, I would stop talking about Carrie and I would send them a cease and desist. Not with any hopes to get any money, but like I said, they got a pretty nice car I can make them sell. That's for sure. Just to show them not to mess with me, you know? Without that car, they're screwed. I mean, even though the Delta 8 store is only about 4 blocks from where they're at. I need to call my Uber. And I need to, no, I'm gonna go home. Let me go home. All right, so, let people see that there. I am savage. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. Carrie, ignore these knuckleheads. I don't know what they're talking about regarding the law. To help you, go look up Tit-for-Tat, and go look up mental anguish. Shanny can't claim any of that because her anger is supposed to be directed towards Jason and not towards you. They're just jealous because you get more live viewers than they do. I'll see you guys in the next one.